Well, welcome everyone to the Integrated Digital Marketing webinar. We are really excited to host this event. We are hosting this live from PamTen office in Princeton. My name is Keyur. I'm here with my twin brother Kaushal Shroff, and we sound the same, so it may be a little confusing on the phone. But we are really excited to share with you some of the insights and experiences. Digital marketing, this is a very dynamic field, and the reason is if you look at the overall spectrum, we are still in the infancy. So it may seem like so many things have happened over the last 4 or 5 years in this space. However, if we look at the overall picture, if we are more holistic about this whole thing, this is still in its infancy. And there are a couple of reasons why this is so dynamic. One is what I just mentioned. The second one is the tools and techniques. Really what happens is when you have a large player like Google, like Apple, like LinkedIn, when they come in this space, there's an entire ecosystem which is built around these players. And so there are a lot of tools, a lot of new companies, a lot of new techniques which come about and support this. And so entire new ecosystems are formed almost on a monthly basis, right? And so what's happening is the information is fragmented. So you get different kind of information depending on which touch point you are focusing on. And there are so many small businesses who actually lose out on this entire ecosystem. And the reason is because there is no symmetric information, right? So different people have different view of the world, and large players, large organizations we have seen do really well because they have the knowledge, they have the information. And so really one of the points for this entire webinar is the fact that we wanted to share with you some of the insights to level the playing field. But to do that, first and foremost, we must understand the world. Really recently the world has changed in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, so there's been a massive shift from centralized push marketing to decentralized pull marketing, from mass marketing to personalized marketing. And your consumers, your prospects, your customers, they have different expectations, they have different behavior, so you must change your tactics to meet those expectations. And what we'll do is we'll quickly go through some of the key changes and how you must respond to make the most out of the situation. So this is the first shift. Second, your customers are more and more in control. They expect to interact with you when, where, and how they want on the device of their choice. And if you are not there, you are missing out on the action. Your customer behavior, their expectations, all of those things have changed. The way they communicate, the way they interact has changed as well. And if you are not interacting with them when they are ready and the way that they expect you to interact with them, then you are really missing out on key opportunities, and your competitors may be taking advantage of those situations. So it's very important to keep this in mind, and then we'll share with you how you can actually respond. Finally, audience awareness is fragmented. There's a lot of information everywhere you look. And there's massive amount of information, and as a result, customers are applying personal filter to filter out information. And so the only way you can rise above the noise is if your information provides some value. And so we'll show you how you can do that as well through integrated marketing. So as I mentioned, integrated marketing can help. And some of what is integrated marketing? It's actually being able to connect with your customers across digital touch points through a single unified message. And what's really key about this is you can also apply the same strategy across touch points across all the channels, so that your message is almost omni-channel. You are able to communicate with them with the same tone, with the same message, so it's more effective. And another thing to note is that it's really focused on the customer, because customer would have a very disjointed journey, very disjointed experience if you are communicating with them differently through different channels. So here is a sample of what an integrated marketing ecosystem could look like. In this case, what we are doing is we are sort of connecting the digital and physical world, and we are using integrated marketing for a specific event. So here there are a set of activities you can have in your pre-event strategy, a specific set of activities you can have event and post-event strategy. So for example, here you can plan an event offline, and then you can send out SMS messages. You can have an email campaign, you can have web registration. So those are all the things which are online, and they are all interconnected. You can also have social media buzz to create awareness, to generate brand awareness, and to generate awareness about the event. Then during the event, you can have social media wall, so that your end consumers, they can actually text information on Twitter, and that information appears live at the Twitter wall in real time. So it's a great way to not only drive engagement but have persistent value, because that feed will stay on their Twitter wall even after they leave the event. You can capture information during the event, and then you can post it after the event on the blog, on your website. So it's a great way again to have persistent value after the event is over. So this is an example of what integrated marketing system can look like. What are some of the key benefits? First, as I mentioned earlier, you can apply consistent strategy across digital touchpoints. You can apply consistent tone, consistent messaging, regardless of how consumers are interacting with you. It's also more personalized, because now you know a little bit more about your customers through all these different channels, and you can now cross-apply that information regardless of how you interact with them, right? So for example, if someone comes on your website and they fill out the contact us form, you know a little bit about that customer, you know a little bit about their preferences. Now when you're engaging with them through email or through social media, you know a little bit more about that customer so that your interaction can be more personalized. You can have real-time engagement. Your message can be platform or device agnostic. And as I was saying earlier, it can really be omni-channel communication. You can apply the same consistent tone, the same consistent strategy. It's also more effective and efficient way of communicating. So these are some of the key benefits of integrated marketing.
All right, great. So now what we have done is we have taken 3 examples of organizations that have done this really, really well. So they really combine 6 touch points, which we'll go through in a few minutes, and they've done an outstanding job. Number 1 on our list is Carling Black Label. So I'm not sure how many of you have heard of this. This is one of the best-selling beers in South Africa, and they were able to connect the physical and digital world that Kaushal just mentioned a few minutes ago. Really what happened is there was a need which they saw in the market. So people in South Africa absolutely love soccer, and they absolutely love beer. However, they realized that the soccer fans were not very happy. Because of the teams bringing in the coaches from overseas, they felt disconnected. So what did Carling Black Label do? They actually put the label, the code, in the bottle caps. Fans can actually open the beer, they can look at the code, they can put the information on the website and vote for the team. And so essentially what they did is they got a lot of traction on this. And now the customers started to associate soccer with beer. So what value did they get? They actually got 4 pieces of very important stuff done by this campaign. Number 1, persistent value. They were able to get traction on this long after the campaign was over. Second, engagement. They were able to engage with fans. Third, incremental increase in sales. They actually saw the sales of their beer go up. And fourth, brand recognition. They're able to associate soccer with beer. Second one on our list is Coke. Coke really exemplifies the integrated digital marketing space. They've done an outstanding job. They have all of these different marketing assets. They're able to leverage this across different sales channels. So here's the website. You can see on the top, there's brand consistency across different medias. They will use similar graphics and similar images on multiple social media and different blogs, websites, etc. Their website is also very well optimized. So if you look at search engine optimization, they've actually taken into consideration all of the rules and principles. All the way at the bottom, you see YouTube video. So they have YouTube video. Now they are leveraging this asset across different touch points. So they have it on the website, they will have it on the blogs and different places. You can also see the Facebook stream. And all the way on the right, you can see social icons. So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It makes it easier for people to connect with them. You can just click on that icon and look at the Coke Facebook page easily. Coke also has responsive design. So depending on the device that you have, the website will change automatically. If you have a tablet, if you have a phone, if you have a desktop, you will see the website resize automatically for optimal viewing. They also have rewards connected with the message they have on their site as well as social networks. Example number 3, American Express. I think they've done an outstanding job as well. On the left-hand side, you can see social icons. Many of these icons you recognize. There are a couple of them that you may not. So for example, they have Instagram, they have Foursquare. All of these icons really attract people to follow them on all of these different social networks. There's also a Twitter handle. So why hide this information? This is actually on their home page. So if you are interested in Twitter, you can use the Twitter handle. They also have native mobile app. So if you have iPhone or Samsung Droid, you can actually install this app on your device and track certain pieces of information. Also at the bottom, you see an option to follow them on Twitter. Here's an example of a blog. A lot of people we have seen don't do a really good job at blog, and the reason is because they wait for extended period of time between blog number 1 and blog number 2. So really, if you want to build following, you want to post blogs at specified intervals. So at least 20 times a month if you can. 15 to 20 times is really the key number. Here you can see some of the social network icons at the top. So if you find this information valuable and if you want to share it with your network, you can. And now this really goes viral, right? Here is the information that I want to share with my network. And a lot of this information doesn't actually have marketing spin on it. It's valuable information for consumers. And viral information usually doesn't have marketing or sales aspect to it. It's free information, right? Right below it, you can see weekly blogs. So every single week, American Express will post valuable information for their consumers, building followership. And right below that, your RSS feed.
And by the way, there was a key number. Posting 20 blogs a month forces search engines to index your blog every single day because they are not sure when you'll post your next blog. So 20 is really the key number. If you have a blog site, we recommend, even if it's a short blog, to at least have 20 blogs per month.
All right. So as you guys remember, we mentioned the 6 pillars before. Really, the key objective for your organization is to increase revenue. And to increase revenue, there are 6 touch points that you should focus on. We call these touch points digital marketing, right? So search engine optimization for your website, social media, email marketing, mobile marketing, videos, blogs, all of this form a layer of digital marketing. Right below it, your digital experience, which is your website. This is your marketing asset to some extent, right? This is your website. And layer below that is your infrastructure. So email platform, hosting platform, database, all of those form a layer right below it.
So if you think of the infrastructure, those are sort of enablers. And on top of it is your digital experience, which can be your website, your Facebook page, anything that is sort of presented to the end user. And on top of that, you have your digital marketing layer.
What is great about digital marketing is the fact that you can measure it. And you know, if you want to manage something, you should be able to measure it, right? And so this gives you a lot of insights, a lot of key analytics, which you can follow along. So first and foremost, let's talk about search engine optimization. Search engine optimization. One of the key things is backlinks from blogs, from social media, and from all of these other aspects. You may have heard of Hummingbird algorithm, which Google came out with a couple of months ago. They now place a lot of emphasis on content, on grammar, believe it or not. They look at grammar, and they also look at local. So if you have all of this social media, they will actually use that as an indicator of how important your content on your website is. So it's essential to put all of those pieces in place. Backlinks from YouTube, Google Plus are highly favored because both of them are indexed by Google. YouTube, if you consider YouTube as a search engine, is the second largest in the world. It beats Yahoo as well as Bing combined, right? Don't use the same exact content on multiple places because search engines would think that you are trying to game the system and you are using same information on different places to get higher ranking. So use original content if possible. Number 4 on our list is use quality links. So for example, you don't want links from sites which have page rank lower than yours because that tells search engine that this information is not perhaps as valuable. You want links from sites which have relevant content, number 1, and have high page rank, number 2. Also focus on users, not search engines. At the end of the day, if you add value to your users, search engines will find you, not to mention all of these other websites and other social networks will also connect with you. So you will add value not only to customers, but eventually in your search engine ranking. So here's a nice, intriguing infographic we thought. On the left, you have old way of doing search engine optimization. On the right, you have the new way of doing search engine optimization. You know, so back in the days, you'd focus on content farms. You'll have as many links as possible. You'll have, you know, keyword stuffing, right? So you'll have a lot of keywords, keyword density, right? Those are the ways that Panda and some of those algorithms were used to look at. Now, if you look at the new algorithm, Hummingbird, and even some of the other search engines like Bing and Yahoo, they've come up with new algorithms recently. You look at the new way of the way search engines look at information. So they care about how much value are you adding to your customers, right? Are you putting content which is valuable? You know, are you able to get undivided attention from your marketplace? Is this a two-way communication, or are you just posting information? How often do you update the information, and how fresh is your content? All of these things are extremely important. Here's another nice diagram. This talks about the on-page optimization as well as off-page optimization. So on the right, you have off-page optimization, things like reputation, authority, shares, history. And on the left, you have on-page optimization like content, architecture.
Yeah, the architecture of your website is very critical because you want to make sure that just because you have good content doesn't mean the search engines are able to index it. You want to make sure that they are able to index all your content, they are able to find all the information. Having a robot.txt file is very critical. Making sure that your content is searchable and shareable is very important as well. And then at the bottom, we have some of the violations, some of the things you should not do. So for example, you should not have a link from a link farm, where or you should not have links from paid link websites. You should not have keyword stuffing, so you should not have very high keyword density because search engines would think that you are trying to game the system and they would penalize you for it.
Yeah, and once you have once you're actually on the wrong side, it's very, very hard to actually get the search engine to like your website again. So it's you have to be very careful in what you do, and you have to make sure that at the end of the day, you're adding value to your customers. Here's a nice diagram of search engine demand, right? So if you look at all the way on the left, you look at the keywords that everyone is optimizing for. These are 1 or 2 word key phrases. So for example, you know, there can be a key phrase like handbags, right? So if you are optimizing for a keyword like that, there are many, many websites which are competing for that keyword, and that's not the place where you want to be. So the demand for that keyword is extremely high, but so is the supply. And the chances are that you'll probably be on page 10 or beyond. So what you want to focus on is the long tail keywords. Long tail keywords, for example, can be red Armani handbag, right? So now this is a key phrase that not too many people are optimizing for, and you have a prime reason why you would come up higher on search results, right? So there are very few websites, relatively speaking, who are focusing on this keyword, and you have higher chances of coming up. And by the way, if you have even few 100,000 people looking for this keyword, chances that your website will come up is good, and you'll get tremendous amount of traffic if you focus on the right 70%.
So let's look at how you can integrate social media with other channels. As we had mentioned earlier, you can sort of apply consistent the same strategy, the same messaging, the same tone across all the different channels, and social media is no different. You can actually apply the same messaging and the same tone on social media. What's very critical is that you're authentic, you are being yourself. If you try to be something on social media that you're not, your customers will call you out. So it's important to be authentic, to be, and intentions matter as well on social media. One question we get a lot is, what if someone says something negative about us on social media? Well, I can assure you that even if you are not on social media, customers would say something negative about you. At least this way you can sort of respond to those negative messages. When I was at American Express, it was not that we never got negative comments from our customers, it was how we handled those negative comments from customers. And prospects, customers, they see how you react to those negative comments. So it's very critical to engage, to be proactive, and to interact with them, whether it's positive or negative.
Also, one of the questions we get often is, what is the ROI? You know, so if we invest time, money, resources, what is the ROI of social media? And in my opinion, this is not a relevant question, to be honest. There used to be a time when people would ask this question. However, if you look at telephone, if you look at website, do you ask your ROI on that? You don't. The reason is because this is very pervasive throughout the industry, and your competition is also doing a lot of this.
Yeah, so one thing is, when was the last time you tried to calculate ROI on your phone, right? You know that it's a cost of doing business, that's why you have it. Same goes for your website. I remember the time when the websites were new, people would ask, oh, what is the ROI on a website? Now you know you must have a website because your customers expect it, and hence you must have it. That's where they'll find you. So I think the question of social media ROI is sort of an irrelevant question. And also, it's very difficult to calculate ROI because your customer journey is no longer predictable, right? They may go on your website, they may interact with, they may fill out their email address, they may get your email, they may interact with you on social media, they may fill out your contact us form, they may see your blog. So now, which one of those activities do you attribute that ROI to? So it becomes increasingly complex, if not impossible, to then assign any one of those activities to the sale. So that's why we think that this is sort of a tough question to answer, and I also think it's an irrelevant question. I think as time goes on and as this becomes the new standard, fewer people will start asking that question. Another thing we can do is you can actually connect online and offline. So you can also offer offline rewards for online engagement. For example, if someone likes you on Facebook, or if they interact with you on Facebook, or if they take a poll on Facebook, you can offer them a reward like such a 20% off or 50% off on an offline deal. You can also share videos on your YouTube from YouTube on your social media channel, and you can surface them on your other web properties as well. And then finally, you can actually display social media icons on your website, on your blogs, on your emails, so that that content is easily shareable. So here is an infographic which I found very interesting because it highlights some of the key benefits of each one of the social media networks. So for example, Facebook is used for sharing something that you like, whereas Twitter is more real-time. LinkedIn is used for sharing skills and expertise. Pinterest is used for sharing images. Foursquare is more location-based. So the messages that you have on each one of the social media networks should be in sync with the network itself so that you can get the most value out of it. And then finally, social media. When we think of social media, we usually think about social networking, but social media is a lot broader than just social networking, right? It includes social networking, but it also includes blogging, it includes social bookmarking, it includes geolocation, a couple of sites there, as Kier mentioned earlier, Foursquare, Goala, where you can actually track the location of the person who is interacting with you. So social media is a lot broader. And to integrate social media with other channels is important, but to integrate social media within each other, making sure that all the platforms are integrated within social media ecosystem, that's also critical. Next, we'll look at email marketing. So how can you integrate email marketing with other channels, right? Email marketing, what's unique is you can capture email address from your website, and now your persistent value. You can interact with your customer base. You can make sure you're in touch with them. You're sharing information. Every time you post a new blog, you can send out an email that, hey, we thought you might find this blog useful. So it's a great way to stay in touch with your customer base. You can also integrate social media icons on your email messages as well as on your blogs, as we spoke earlier, so that that content is now shareable. And you can measure the effectiveness of your email campaign. You can have A/B testing. You can use different subject lines, so you can see how effective your email campaign is. So these are some of the ways you can integrate email marketing with other channels. This infographic we thought was very interesting. The best time to send out an email is on Tuesday, and the best time to send out an email is around noon when people are on lunch. We have seen that that gives you the highest traction with your email messages.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions on when is the best time to send this information. We want to see higher response rate, and so really, if you use that time frame, it's really the best. So Tuesday afternoon. Yeah.
And of course, it depends on businesses as well. If you are a lifestyle business, and if you are selling something which people are more likely to use on weekends, then Friday might make more sense. Here are some of the action words you can use in subject lines. So anything that sounds marketing or salesy, you should try to stay away from, because people will just automatically zone you out. On the left side, we have some of the keywords like connect, opportunity, apply. Those are some of the more positive keywords which you can use in the subject line. And really, even if your message is very compelling, if no one clicks on your email, then it's useless. So it's very important to think through your subject line. And that's where A/B testing comes in, right? Sending out half the emails using one subject line, sending out the other half using a second subject line to see which one gets more traction. That's something you can actually also do through ExactTarget and some other email softwares out there.
And most of the tools these days will allow you to see that information, how many people opened the email, how many people clicked on the link. So you should really be leveraging some of those tools.
Next, we'll look at mobile channel and what you can do with mobile marketing. So you can actually gather mobile contact information through your website or through your digital properties, and it's a great way for you to stay in touch with your customers through another channel. QR codes are, I've seen mixed results with QR codes, but if it is something you decide to use in your print material, you can use a website called deliver.com where you can actually create QR codes and then you can embed those QR codes in your print. Linking your website and your social media destination, that's something you can do as well. Your email, in your email you can ask for mobile information, or you can send out specific offers through mobile channels. And finally, you can use analytics. If you are using mobile marketing, there are a lot of really neat platforms out there through which you can track how you are performing. So we have listed here some of those mobile platforms, but there are a lot of them out there.
A lot of the tools allow you to send SMS to all of the mobile numbers you have in the database. So as you collect all of this information, you can leverage some of those tools and send out a SMS message. So one of the SMS message can be, hey, we have a new offer if you want to go to our website and check this out for limited time. And so really you're leveraging different touch points to get that integrated effect. And really the compounded effect of all of these things would be higher than any piece, right? So you're using your website, but you're using SMS to drive that demand.
Here's an infographic that we thought was very interesting. So if you look at how smartphones are used, the highest usage is for text messaging, taking pictures, internet browsing, and emailing. It's not so these are really it's really a way to engage with your audience, right? Because this is what they are using their cell phone for. And as Kyu mentioned earlier, having a responsive website is really very important because they may be browsing your website through their mobile device, and if it's not responsive, they may not be able to view all the information. They may have to sort of pinch to zoom in, whereas if your website is responsive, they will be able to interact with it. So it's something to keep in back of your mind. As we see higher adoption of smartphones, and as we see that they're using their smartphones to go on your web and other digital properties, it's important to think that through. Next, we'll look at video. One of the things we had mentioned earlier, and as we saw from Coke example, you can actually leverage your videos. So you can host all your videos on YouTube, and then you can surface them on your emails, on your social media site, on your digital properties. And that's a great way to sort of consolidate your channel views, so that you're aggregating all your channel views, and next time someone searches for that keyword, your video is more likely to come up because you have those channel views all aggregated in one place. And it's also a great way to sort of surface that same content across all the different digital channels, right? So you can have that in your blog, your website, your social media site as well. So some of the things you should and should not do with video marketing. Videos we have seen should be short. They should provide value. They should be engaging. They should be interactive. And you should really have a link to some of your digital properties in the description of your video. Because as Kyu mentioned earlier, YouTube is a Google property. It's indexed very heavily. And if you have those backlinks coming onto your other digital properties, it can help you with your ranking, and it can also help you drive traffic to your other digital properties. Videos which are very long, which are very salesy, very marketing, which are focused on your products and your company rather than adding value to your customers, tend not to get as many views. Another thing we would recommend is turn the commenting off in your YouTube channel, because a lot of the comments are anonymous and you usually get a lot of very negative comments on YouTube. So it's best to either turn it off, you can review some of the posts, and then you can enable them if you like. Finally, let's look at blog. You can use social media widgets on blogs. So for example, if you're using WordPress, they have a lot of social media widgets which you can use, A, to make sure that that information is shareable, and B, you can also drive some engagement with your blog content. You can also encourage commenting. One of the things we have seen that works really well is in a blog near the end they would say that, okay, so here are some of the thoughts we have shared with you. What do you think? Do you have any comments? What are your experiences? Please share them with us. So that drives engagement, that encourages engagement. Sharing new blog posts on social media or through emails. Every time, or at least what you could do is every week, you can consolidate all the blogs you created for that week, and you can send out a single email saying that, hey, here are some of the things we posted for this week. We thought you might find it interesting. And one of the things I've seen work really well, especially on LinkedIn, is you can actually put the URL of your blog, and it will automatically capture all the information about your blog, the image, the title, the description, and now you can sort of surface that blog through another channel for B2B marketing especially.
And again, I think American Express does a really good job at posting really valuable information for their followers. And as we showed you, they also have the social icons. So if you want to share this information with your network, they allow you to do it. Going back to the point, you have to build message and information which can be viral. And people don't like to associate themselves with marketing campaign, right? And so they're really using their Facebook wall or their Twitter handle. They're using all of these aspects, right, to communicate the information, and so it has to be viral in nature. What we have seen is if you keep your blogs focused, it does a couple of things. One, people actually can find the information easily because
if there are any questions, feel free to post them here. You can also always send us an email if you have a question, or if you are planning a social media initiative, or if you wanted to bounce off any ideas. We would love to hear from you. We would love to help out in any way we can.
Yeah, and this is very dynamic place that we are in. And again, as I mentioned, this is still, if you look at the broad spectrum, we are still in the infancy. So hopefully some of the ideas, techniques, tools that we have shared with you, hopefully you found them valuable.
All right. So if there are no other questions, we'll end the webcast. And thank you so much for joining. And feel free to stay in touch if you have any other questions or if you want to bounce off any ideas.